Hello, I'm Chris Casey.
And I'm Kristen Lagana. Welcome to Arundel County Weekend Review. In this episode, we'll talk with County Executive Steve Schuh about his first month in office and also welcome home our troops serving overseas. But first, making headlines this week. We want to wish our Jewish friends a happy Hanukkah. The Festival of Lights started this week and ends on Christmas Eve. In case you didn't know, Chris, the story of Hanukkah goes a bit like this. The king of Greece was driven from the Holy Temple in Jerusalem in the year 2 BC. They only had enough ceremonial oil to burn for 1 day, but the menorah burned for 8 days. It was a miracle. Now, if you want to join the celebration, there will be a car parade and menorah lighting at City Dock in Annapolis on Sunday, December 21st. The parade starts at the Safeway on Housley Road at 5 p.m. and arrives at City Dock in downtown Annapolis at about 5:45. There, the organizers will light a giant menorah and celebrate. Several cars will also have menorahs attached. The event will also feature latkes, donuts, and Hanukkah music. It is sponsored by Chabad of Anne Arundel County. Sounds like fun. Chris, have you ever had a latke?
I've had a latte. I don't know about latke.
Latte, not a latke. Okay. Well, I haven't tried one either, so I think I'll have to head down to City Dock.
Now, of course, we didn't forget about Kwanzaa. That holiday starts on December 26th and runs through New Year's Day. So that's a solid block of holidays starting this week, Kristen. Hanukkah, then Christmas, then Kwanzaa with no breaks. That's a lot of presents. And speaking of Christmas, we've been scouring the county looking for the best light shows. We found the Griswold's house, understated but elegant in Severna Park, and a laser super show in Odenton. Have a look.
I'm too much. Oh, I'm too much, baby.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays from the Hagen family.
We think it's pretty clear who the winner is. Lights on Ice Crystal in Odenton. We actually profiled the home of Brian and Christine Hagen 3 years ago right here on this show, and it just continues to get better. Great job, Hagens. You have great lights, and you have one of the few houses in America that has its own Facebook page. You can probably see it from outer space, too. Does the Lagana house have a nice light show?
Oh, I gotta tell you, my mom pulls out all the stops on the Lagana house when it comes to Christmas. We don't have a big light show, but there's garlands everywhere, beautiful bows that she does by hand. She takes Christmas very seriously. How about your family?
Well, we get some lights up, but my dad doesn't have a good track record with ladders, so not too much.
So you're probably the one up on the roof, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Each year during the holidays, a group of angels get together to make sure that needy kids get presents under the tree, too. This year, our angels, based out of the Anne Arundel County Department of Public Works, arranged clothes, bikes, and toys for more than 500 kids from all over our community. In our first community spotlight, Michelle Corkadel talked to some of the organizers. Michelle?
Thanks, Chris and Kristen. We're here at Department of Public Works where they have decided to spread their cheer to some of our most neediest and most vulnerable in our community, our children. They have collected hundreds of gifts known as Christmas Angels through a program that they will be distributing out to our children in need. And I'd like to introduce you to the core team who's responsible for this great miracle of a joy.
Chuck Henney,
Glenn Gowans,
Jim Scroll,
Mary Lamb,
Danny Torres,
Pam Powell Carrick,
Daryl Luxfer,
Paul Pushert,
Bo Zhao,
Eric Terry,
Lou Matassa.
And the person who has been responsible for coordinating this wonderful miracle is Mary Love. Mary, when did you get involved in this program with Christmas Angels?
I've been knowing the Christmas Angels for about 11 years.
11 years,
Yeah.
wow. And the county did this before in the past, is that not correct?
That's correct. We did this for many years. When I started with the county, we used to have angel trees, and they'd have tags on the trees, and then people would just gather them and give the gifts. But then they ran out of volunteers. Everybody kind of went their own way and they just didn't have the interest that they had had before. So we took it over and sort of streamlined it.
So what organizations have you worked with in our area in order to make this miracle happen for everyone?
What we do is we work with the St. Vincent de Paul Society. They gather names from social services, and then we distribute the gifts. We also have a partnership with Colonial Players and Severna Park Elks, who take some of the gifts, or take some of the angel tags for us.
So how many angel tags do we get for our county each year?
We take about 500.
500, wow. So that means we have how many employees? Almost 500 then, right, participating?
We probably have upwards of 400 employees that participate.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much. This is great. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Michelle. One of the best feelings in the world is giving back to someone else during the holidays. Thanks to everyone who participated in this year's Christmas Angel program.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Nancy Schrum will sit down with County Executive Steve Schuh to talk about his first month on the job. Take a look at our community calendar for events around town, and we'll be right back.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Welcome back. New County Executive Steve Schuh has been in office now for about 3 weeks, so Director of Constituent Services Nancy Schrum sat down to talk with him about his experience so far and what his plans are for the county over the next 100 days and beyond. Nancy?
Thanks, Kristen. We are here at the County Executive's office at the Arundel Center with County Executive Steve Schuh. County Executive, in a few days you will have completed 1 month in office. What have you learned on the job?
Well, it's been a great 4 weeks. This is a very fun job. It's a little bit like being the pinball inside a pinball machine, bouncing around all over the place. There are a lot of demands. But as I said, it is a lot of fun. We've got a great group of employees, a wonderful county. We're well run from a financial position. So I couldn't be more excited to be on the job.
Well, moving to one of your 5 points, public safety.
Yes.
You speak a lot about the epidemic that heroin has brought into the county. Can you share with us some of the initiatives that you might be sharing to the public in the future?
Yes. Heroin is a very serious crisis in this county and all over Maryland. There is now a fatality a week in Anne Arundel County from heroin overdose. And it would be worse than that if it weren't for the very high quality emergency medical care that overdose victims get from our public safety professionals and from the hospitals that serve our community. Now, there are several things that are in the works or that have already happened. One is we've appointed Chief Tim Altamere to run our police department. One of the reasons that I appointed him is because he recognizes the seriousness of this heroin challenge. Second, we have formed a work group, interdepartmental, including public safety, the Department of Health and Social Services, the judicial branch, to work together to develop new strategies going forward to combat drug dealing and heroin from all angles. Because this is not just a public safety issue. It's not just a criminal law issue. It's also a social services issue. It's an educational issue. There is a lot to it.
Well, let me continue. 100 days from now, what will you be saying about goals, short-term goals that you will have accomplished within the next 100 days?
Well, my goals for the first 100 days are very much the same as the goals that I've been sharing with citizens now for 2 years. Tax and fee reduction, which will be part of my first budget, working with our schools to close achievement gaps and to begin to reduce the average sizes of our high schools around the county, improving public safety, particularly narcotics and opiates, reforming county government to make it more efficient, cost-effective, and courteous, which is very important to me, and finally making continued progress at cleaning up our waterways, taking care of our number one asset. We're going to make significant progress on all 5 of those initiatives over the next 100 days.
That's wonderful. With your new administration, you have many new hires. What is the expectation of your leaders, and can you share with us those qualities of a good leader?
Well, I'm pleased to say that we have appointed the entire cabinet within the first 2 weeks of taking office. I think that may be unprecedented. We have an incredibly experienced and skillful group of leaders to head up our departments and major offices, 35 appointments in all. About a dozen of those have carried over from the prior administration, so we have some continuity and institutional memory, but we also have a lot of fresh blood, people with new ideas. What I expect from them is leadership of their departments, and I expect them, as I believe they do, to embrace our goal of making Anne Arundel County the best place to live, work, and start a business in the state of Maryland. Everyone understands their mission, they understand how they fit into that mission, and everybody is hard at work to make it happen over the next several years for our citizens.
County Executive, you're 3 weeks into your new administration. What progress have you made?
Well, we've hit the ground running. After swearing in, we immediately went about appointing the cabinet. That was completed within the first 2 weeks. We established 24 transition committees consisting of citizens from all over the county, every walk of life, to work with each and every one of our departments and major offices to develop action plans to improve their operations. Those transition committees will report back to me by the end of January, and that will give us an action plan, an actionable set of recommendations to use over the next year to make our county operate as best as it can.
Now, it's the holidays, and they're going to come and go very quickly. Do you have any special plans with family for the holidays?
I do. Both my children will be in town, and my fiance's children will be in town, so we'll all be celebrating together as a family. And then Danny and I will be taking our first vacation right after Christmas for the first time in several years. Campaigns have a way of getting in the way of vacations, so we're looking forward to it.
County Executive, thank you for having us this afternoon. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Back to you, Kristen.
Thanks, Nancy. So it seems the county executive's getting out of town for the holidays. What are you going to do this year, Chris?
Well, I'm going to pack everything up and head out on Christmas night and do some skiing. Hopefully I come back in good condition, not wearing any casts or anything like that.
It must be nice to have things like balance, because I can't ski at all. So where do you go skiing?
All over the place.
Okay.
I'll be going down to Virginia, though. Keep it close.
Friends or family?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, we'll be keeping it local, so we'll be right here in good old Anne Arundel County for the holidays.
Well, Kristen, everyone loves coming home for the holidays, but that homecoming is so much sweeter for our military personnel returning from deployment overseas. This week, the BWI Partnership and Operation Welcome Home hosted a packed event for service members at BWI Airport. There were plenty of cheers and plenty of tears, and these events happen 3 times a week with small groups of troops returning, but this time, supporters greeted more than 200 service members arriving from the Middle East. Our producer ran into Lieutenant Colonel Kurt Ritterpusch, returning from Kandahar en route to Texas, and his godmother Janice Richter of Hanover.
And why are you here today?
My godchild, my nephew, just came back from Afghanistan, his 4th tour of combat duty.
And you happy to see him?
Fantastic, fantastic.
And he's switching flights here, right? He's going
This is his brother, Kyle Ritterpusch.
And so he's grabbing another plane to Texas?
Yes, he lives in Texas, Fort Hood. He's going back to Fort Hood with his family's there.
So you seem very proud of him.
Oh my gosh, he's wonderful, wonderful. Proud of both the boys, proud of both.
Glad to have him home safe, right?
Safe, and he's done such a duty for this country. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. 4 tours of combat. It's just unbelievable. He's the provost marshal, Lieutenant Colonel. We're very proud of him.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Kurt Ritterpusch. I'm the Provost Marshal and Chief of Protection for the 1st Cavalry Division. We were stationed in Kandahar for Regional Command South. And then we transitioned to the Train Assist Command South. Got you this way. Over the last 2 months or so.
And you said you've been deployed how long?
This was 6 months.
Happy to be home?
Oh,
Almost
very,
home?
Very happy to be home.
What are your plans for the holidays?
Well, I'm going to stay at home. We're going to be in Texas, and we're going to have my children come from North Carolina. And the four of us, all four of the children and my wife, we're going to enjoy the holidays at our new home in Texas.
And your aunt? She coming?
My aunt.
She coming to visit?
She's welcome to come anytime.
Kristen, if you ever want to get involved in these events, which happen roughly 3 times a week, you can like Operation Welcome Home Maryland on Facebook to keep up with all the opportunities.
I think I'm going to do that.
Well,
actually.
this is an event that I've attended multiple times, going
Okay.
all the way back to the early 2000s when it just started happening. And it's awesome just to see that many people coming out to support our troops and thank them for what they do.
Yeah, have you done any other volunteer work for our troops before?
Mainly that, there's the letter writing drives that everyone did in high school and things
Okay.
like that. But I think this event is the most impactful for both the soldiers coming home and the people that go out to greet them.
Yeah, I've actually had the pleasure of working with Fisher House before. And Fisher House is a great organization. You should check them out as well. We've collected items and gone to visit all of the soldiers that come back before that have a lot of really bad injuries, and you find them at Fisher House and their families staying there while they're receiving care. So it's been a really wonderful experience. You can't emphasize enough for you folks to go ahead and get involved with whatever you can this holiday season. So. Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on YouTube, Facebook, and Google+ at Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county. We'll see you next time.